Howdy, scare friends. You caught old Mr. Grimm roasting a marshmallow. You're probably asking yourself, Mr. Grimm, why are you in the Grimm cottage today? Well, it's a mean, blustery, wintry, rainy day out there, so old Mr. Grimm has had to resort to the nice, warm foundations of the Grimm cottage to bring this show for you today. And we got a decent show today, kids, because we got a couple of masks to show you and other things. So I'm going to let old Mr. Marshmallow just roast on. And scare friends, let's get on with the show. As usual, the show is brought to you by GrimmStitchFactory.com. If you haven't visited my website, have a look. First up on the show today is we have a custom piece that's getting sent out, so I thought I'd bring him on the show before he hits the mail circuit. And here it is. Now this one, start the show off quick, aren't we? With the highlight. Here he is. This is the Field Goblin. Now the Field Goblin was supposed to go to Transworld, but Transworld got postponed this year, so old Mr. Field Goblin here found a brand new home on the Grimm Stitch Factory Facebook. So that just puts a smile on Mr. Grimm's face, that his masks can find nice homes. Now this one, the Field Goblin, is one of these masks that's off website, meaning that it's not on my website and I just came up with this idea and I just made a basic one-of-a-kind mask that I was going to take to the show. Now this one incorporates a lot of the similar features of Scarecrow masks on my site. He's got the mean brow, he's got the hand-stitched sides with the nice straw hair all set inside there. He's got all the ripples in the mouth and the stitch in there. But this one's got a really cool hooked nose to give it that goblin witch look. Now, I went a step further with the Field Goblin, as you do at the Grimm Stitch Factory, and I made him this really neat hat. So it goes over like that. There he goes. Look at that. So it sets on there. Now it's the complete look. So you got the Grimm Stitch Factory Field Goblin. So this mask is going to look great running around a cornfield or scaring trick-or-treaters. Yeah, the owner's going to have a really good time with this. And with all my masks, they're lightweight, made with quality, high-density burlap, no silicone, no latex. So there you go. That's the Field Goblin. I just thought I'd bring him on the show because he's going to be gone today, and he's not on my website. So he's a custom piece. Yeah, put him down there. Some people often ask Mr. Grimm, when they're deciding on a mask by looking on the website, they ask me what are some of my favorite masks. Well, I'm a traditionalist. I like the simple things in life, like roasting marshmallows, sitting in easy chairs in cottages, and enjoying a nice warm fire. The same goes with Scarecrow masks. I like traditional, guys. And here it is, scare friends. This is Corn Rot. Now, he was another job, custom piece, added straw here. So he's being shipped out soon as well. And this is one of my favorite pieces, Corn Rot. A lot like Mr. Grimm. You can tell the similarity between the two of them. These are kind of like traditional Scarecrow field masks that you would see hanging in fields that have been rotted and left to the elements. And this one is different because it's got all done in this chalky white paint to give it a really rustic, cracked look. And it really adds, I think, to the look there. And he's got that big dental plate in there, and underneath the dental plate there's a hole, a large hole. I can actually stick the finger of the glove in there, and that allows for extra breathing, and you can always get some refreshment through a straw when you're not scaring those trick-or-treaters. Yeah, and as always, with all the masks, he comes with a separate chest piece. Here it is here. And the way it works, if you haven't seen it previously on my show, the mask fits over the chest piece there, like that, so you get full mobility. Okay? So you can turn the head without the chest piece moving. So, yeah. And with all my masks, even though this is one of the heavier masks, there's a lot of work here. There's a lot of heaviness and detail. It still wears very light. You can wear it all night, and it won't be uncomfortable or hot. So, yeah. And it's got a nice lace up in the back. Sponges on the inside. You can see it's multi-layered, so it's nice and thick. That's Corn Rot. I'll put him over there. Yeah. Now, one thing the Grimm Stitch Factory doesn't do, unfortunately, because we don't have the manpower, is costumes. Now, I get asked for costumes frequently, but unfortunately, I just don't have the time to make them, scare friends. So what I did was I brought on a costume of mine that I made a few years ago, and just to give you maybe some tips and ideas on how to do it, because it's not really that difficult. If you've got a hot glue gun and some needle and thread or some twine or burlap, you could probably make your own costume pretty easily. Now, I recommend, of course, looking for old clothes, and that means going to bargain shops or used clothing stores and just looking for crappy old clothes that people will no longer want to wear and are out of fashion. So I'm going to take a look at this piece. It's not really a scarecrow coat, but it could certainly be useful in an emergency. And old Mr. Grimm has worn it on several occasions. So this is actually a woman's trench coat, an XL woman's trench coat. So I got that, I ripped the lining out of it, and then I dirtied it all up. You can dirty it up by throwing paint on it, stain, coffee, anything you want that's going to sit in fabric. And you can even take it outside and roll it in the dirt. Okay, so you get it all stained up. And if you want to get it stiffened, that's not too hard because you can always hit it with like a spray, you know, you can hit it with a shellac spray, it'll stiffen it right up. All right, and then for the arms, I chopped the arms off, and then for the arms, I wanted to get some really creepy scarecrow fabric. So this is actually an old pair of pants. I tell you true, folks. It's an old pair of pants. So I just hemmed the bottom of them, and then I attached them to the shoulder, chopped the shoulder off, hot glued it first, and then I just stitched. So you want to hot glue it first so it sets in place so you don't have to fiddle with it later, and then you can just do all the stitching later. So you stitch on the arms there, and that's a pair of pants. And the same as the other side, same thing. As you can see, I just chopped them off, threw some safety pins in there, hot glued it into place, and then did some light stitching and get it all dirty. So there you go. There's nothing on the back really, it's mainly the front. And you can further decor it with pieces hanging down or whatever you want to add there. But that's a very simple costume. Pants and an old jacket, and boom, you're talking turkey. And old Mr. Grimm's costume too. Mr. Grimm's costume, this is my favorite one. This is just an old rusted shirt here. One of these shirts, and I just attached some burlap. Really simple, wrap the burlap around. You can go to a craft store probably, you know, and just buy some cheap burlap, wrap it right around, add some pieces there, hot glue some straw from Michael's, and you're talking a full scarecrow costume in under an hour. But you got it. So look for old fabrics and stuff like that, and old clothes. There's a lot of use to be made from old clothing that people just throw out and discard because it makes really cool scarecrow outfits. Anyway, that's the tip of the day, folks. Scarecrow costume making. I know it's not in depth, but you know, I'm sure you can run with it and come up with something really cool. Old Mr. Grimm, in the meantime, is going to finish roasting his marshmallow because I still got to let the cattle out. And until next time, thanks for tuning in to the Grimm Stitch Factory Grimm Show, brought to you by GrimmStitchFactory.com. And as always, thank you for your patronage and your loyalty towards my work, because I love to do what you love to see, and that's scarecrow mask making. So until next time, keep roasting those marshmallows, and we'll see you real soon.